Welcome in again inside the UMAC, the Union Multipurpose Activity Center. I'm Rick Corey, along with my broadcast partner, Nick Irwin. We're back for Union High School basketball, boys and girls, tonight against Muskogee. And, Nick, it's been a really good week and a half for both teams, but we're going to start with the ladies' teams. They really felt they kind of found themselves in that Douglas game, maybe got a little confidence that even they didn't know they had or maybe even needed, and we've seen them on somewhat of a roll. And tonight, here comes a Muskogee team that's, again, middle of the road. They're 4-5 in conference play. Can't afford to slip up.
Yeah, Union Jinx Invitational, that's kind of where we've seen that growing of kind of the team, the chemistry between them all. And with that chemistry, the confidence behind that, the game plan that Coach Berry has built up with these girls, he's reinforced it with the intensity on the defensive side, which leads to easier baskets on the offensive side. So while we've been seeing them on a kind of a mid-season spike, something that we like to see so far, every time we come here to play at the UMAC, it feels like we have to defend our own. And so for tonight, it's just another night we're going to have to defend our territory for another midweek matchup.
You know, one of the things about this Union basketball team, you mentioned Coach Berry multiple times, and we've talked about it as being his first year. It does take a while, even though during practice, and you've got a long time, you have to become acclimated to that coach's expectations. That coach has to become acclimated to you and how you're motivated, and it does take a little time. I wonder how much of that we're seeing as a part of this move.
Yeah, especially with the idea that how long is too long and then how fast is too fast.
That's right.
If we're going to have a couple losses here and there, when are we going to start to see that growth over time? Maybe you play around with the fifth player coming off the bench, but it seems like very quickly, especially after Union Jinx Invitational, that was when we were able to see our solid five, and now we're going to be able to see a little bit more players coming off the bench to see who we like, kind of the chemistry, maybe a little bit more guards, a little bit more faster, and that's what we need when we need to go to at least later in the playoffs, because that's what we're all fighting for.
Well, and one of the cool things about this is this team has been able to go small. They can bring in Heron off the bench and Daniels off the bench, and they can move it around. Yes. They can bring the other Davis in, and they can have big ones in there, and then you've got people, down low like Edwards who can really kind of move bodies around. They have proven that they do go about 10 deep, and they can play big or small.
Yeah, with our roster, you see all types of names, and all types of those players are getting playing time. So as you were mentioning, you can see a little bit more of a guard-heavy kind of approach in regards to pushing the tempo. You can see it slow down, and we can maybe work a little bit of zone. But obviously our solid five and kind of our key starters is always going to have to be with Esme Smith down in the paint. Her ability to shoot the three ball and also get rebounds to possibly get putbacks and three-point opportunities is kind of what we see. And then when she's really, really hot, you always want to see what other players are either helping her, because if she's the only one getting all the points, the other four players are usually just trying to get it to the hot hand.
Well, and one of the things that we have noticed, obviously, it just sticks out, is that the real heartbeat of this team is Isabella McSwain. Bella McSwain plays her at an intensity level that is hard to describe defensively, and you're afraid early in a game, wow, she's going to get worn out. She doesn't. She seems to stay that way all through the basketball game, which does bring her basketball team. It gives them they have less chance, of having the bad run against them, because yes, she can score it, and she does, but she does such a good job of disrupting defensively that even on a tough offensive night, she's helping keep this team in games on the other end.
And when she's having maybe a struggle of a night, maybe she has only 2 to 6 points, you need to always look for the other players, because if she's only with 2 to 6, there's almost a guarantee that Esme Smith has at least 20 or 15, and other guards are looking for that. And that's what we saw last year. There was a lot of kind of growing pains because we were seeing a lot of that, the good side, but also with the turnovers. And when you live and die by the point guard, if the point guard's turning it over a little bit more, you're going to have to kind of slow that back. So you can see Coach Berry kind of use that, see how long to keep her in, because if he stays with her too long, that's when that kind of fire gets a little burnt out.
And we've seen when Daniels and Heron come off the bench, for the most part, that defensive intensity remains. Now,
exactly.
Not quite to Bella's level, and there's a reason she goes out there first, but not bad. On the other side of things, this Muskogee team, as I mentioned, 4-5 in league play, and their head coach, Brian Bunch, has got a couple of 5'10" young ladies with him. And if you watch them, Nick, just here in practice, they are in warm-ups, they're knocking down the three ball. This team can shoot, and they have, for instance, played Westmore within just a few. This team has proven that they can make some things happen, so I don't think this is one you can snooze on.
Especially on a Tuesday night. I know it was after a much longer break than usual, and after breaks, that's where we usually find that inability to start faster. The rust factor is kind of in there, and because of that, it's harder for us to get going. We always want to be a microwave, quick to heat up very quickly, and so tonight we're going to want to set the tone early because with the Muskogee Lady Roughers coming in, Coach Bunch, he has a high intensity, and we're going to be able to see that here tonight.
So we'll have Union and Muskogee, both boys and girls, coming up here just in a few seconds. Of course, we've got some possible weather moving in, although most of it has gone south. Let's go now to our PA announcer.
Campus of Union High School for tonight's matchup between the Muskogee Lady Roughers and your Union Redhawks. At this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem, performed by the Cedar Ridge Choir under the direction of Jamie Tressiter. First, let's meet the visitors, the Muskogee Lady Roughers. At 5'10", a senior, number 2, Jordan Campbell. At 5'3", a senior, number 4, Demaya Brown. At 5'8", a senior, number 5, Malaysia Burton. At 6'1", a senior, number 15, Yana Brewer. And at 5'10", a senior, number 21, Anaya Thomas. Head coach for the Lady Roughers is Brian Bunch, assisted by Jack Revis, Chris Lee Patterson, and Christopher Mims. And now for the starting lineup for your Union Redhawks. First, our ball girls tonight: Aubrey Anderson, Zariah Nicholson, and Trinity Danzy. Starting at 5'11", a senior, number 1, Vanessa Coleman. At 5'8", a junior, number 10, Whitney Smith. At 5'4", a junior, number 11, Isabella McSwain. At 6'1", a freshman, number 15, Jada Davis. And at 6 foot, a senior, number 34, Esme Smith. Head coach of the Redhawks is Josh Berry, assisted by Joe Davis, Amani Davis, and Trey Osborne.
So there are your starting lineups. We are about to get underway, Union and Muskogee here, and Nick was very impressed with the young ladies' arms as they tossed that up in the stands.
They were humming that ball multiple rows. This band on the left-hand side is kind of towards the back, and they were throwing it in the air on it. So if these girls ever wanted to maybe do a little football action.
A little baseball, too.
Baseball,
softball, of course, any
all
of those
of
things.
it.
By the way, you saw and a wonderful job done by the Cedar Ridge Choir on the national anthem. It is Cedar Ridge and Jarman night here. So there should be some of those kids here in attendance. And all three of my children were Union lifers, and one of them, her entire education when it came to grade school, all at Jarman, Patty Pitcock's old school. And we're underway here. Tip goes to Muskogee. And basketball at the UMAC. Brown out front. Union in that traditional man-to-man. Good cut on the back cut, and there's two already for Muskogee. Has a nice feed and a nice cut down low. 2-0 Ruffers. Basket by Jordan Campbell. This Muskogee team, again, even though 4-5, has proven to be pretty pesky. Esme Smith inside, a nice inside cut as well, and we're even.
Like the Ruffers were in a zone defense, and Union was able to quickly break it with a couple of quick passes. We'll see if they stay in that zone.
Burton out front with Whitney Smith on her. And after one or two back cuts, you start to learn to watch and pay attention to that a little bit. Good defense there, especially by Coleman underneath. Three-pointer from out front is good. Demira Brown for a three out front. And I watched her during warm-ups, Nick. I actually pointed her and a couple other ones out. Young lady was filling it up from three. Smith wanted that ball down low. Esme had pretty good position, but had it been a perfect pass. Coleman inside. McSwain, little room. Gets it to Davis. Quickly back to Coleman, and it's turned over. Here comes Muskogee. Brown on the break. Puts it up and in, and it's 7-2 Muskogee very quickly.
Yeah, that was a tough situation. Jada Davis was directly under the basket. She made a quick pass back out to Esme Smith. I don't think Esme was ready for that.
So 7-2. We mentioned this is not a team to sleep on, even though they're 4-5, this Muskogee group. They have played the toughest teams very tough. No go for Whitney Smith there. Bella just faked the three. She'll go way across court and throw it away, trying to get it to Davis. Now, Coach Berry's not going to call a timeout early like this, but I do think if Muskogee gets another three or something along those lines, Nick, he might want to calm his group down.
Yeah, when Union plays against a team that comes out shooting very well, and especially with Muskogee shooting 2 for 2 to start from the field, that's going to be something that Coach wants to kind of settle early because we have to trust them. As we get this turnover.
Whitney Smith down low. Not a lot of room. McSwain will drive and tried to go back to Whitney and threw it away again. Whitney, she thought, would cut to the corner for the three. Instead, Whitney was coming back toward Bella. Simple miscommunication, but on a night like this, if that kind of starts to build on itself, Nick, what you worry about is it becomes a trend, and you don't want that.
I think Coach Berry was thinking that ball was tipped because he was looking at the referee signaling towards the fingertips. But
now here's the press that Union has used so effectively. Muskogee breaks it fairly simply, though, and Brown's on the move. Inside, taken away again by McSwain. Here comes Union. Coleman out front, did not get it to her, though. Davis able to lay that up and in.
Union running fast on that quick turnaround.
Muskogee quickly down court. Burton, but she had nowhere to go. Well, Coleman was open on that one as well, and That would have been a more difficult pass, so a good choice in there by Union to make it 7-4. Davis way out front, almost had that steal. Left wing. Brown is studied and throws it away, as a matter of fact. Goes off the hands of Campbell, and Union will have it again. So the Redhawks have had 3 turnovers given to them in the last 4 possessions. Need to take advantage of it in a 7-4 game.
Like
the Ruffers calling a timeout. Now that's after a couple of turnovers on Muskogee as well. Interesting that Coach Birch thought he needed it before, Coach Berry thought he needed it, and I think maybe that's the difference in how you trust your team, Nick.
Yeah, when Coach Berry had that situation, obviously he wasn't expecting Muskogee to shoot the ball so well. With a 3-ball and a quick backdoor cut, that was kind of something that not really needing a timeout. Usually you want to limit, a hot hand, maybe someone heating up from the 3 line. But I know that right there for Muskogee, that was more of we need to make sure that we're not turning this ball over this next possession. So let's reimagine our idea of the game plan and at least make sure we're on the same plan.
And pardon me, Coach, the Muskogee coach's name is Brian Bunch, not Birch. That's what happened when you have old eyes. Even though these have been operated on occasionally, they'll trick you. So Union will inbound far side, trailing 7-4 with 4:59 to go here in this first period. Plenty of time, as you know.
Looks like the referees are checking a slippery spot in front of the Muskogee bench, so that's why the cause was a delay.
Can be awfully dangerous. Just ask Duke in that game against Clemson the other night.
Very.
Muskogee gone to a zone, 1-3-1. Oh, they had an opportunity there to get Smith in the middle. Instead, McSwain gives it off to Smith, and Esme goes up but is fouled. And that foul is going to be against Anaya Thomas. That'll be her first, and to the line goes Esme Smith. Perfect form and a perfect shot.
Before Esme put up that shot, an interaction between Coach Berry and Isabella McSwain, I think Coach wanted her to go up with that shot originally. She kind of did like a under the legs pass to Esme Smith, but I think she was just wide open just to go up by herself.
Both free throws good, so Esme Smith with 4, and it's a 1-point game. Cross midcourt is Muskogee, quickly down low, but that's a cutoff. Lady Ruffers, get a back cut to Brown. Tries to go across court, but Davis with quick hands able to cut that off. The pass intended for Campbell. It will be Muskogee's ball out of bounds. The Ruffers, whose colors are really green and white, wearing their black tonight. So these two teams pretty easy to differentiate. Inbounds is stolen by McSwain. That's her third. Bella slows it, then gets it down court to Coleman. Coleman's shot is blocked, but it's a foul. Coleman fouled by Malaysia Burton, and that will be her first, second team, and to the line goes Vanessa Coleman. Well, she is active, Nick. She is always one of the first people down court. Once again, free throw shooting, first one is good. This ladies team has been really dead on from the free throw line.
Yeah, and that lets the game get a little bit easier throughout the third and fourth quarter when you're starting to increase that lead more and more by just making free throws.
Trailing 7-2 early, Union now takes the lead 8-7. Muskogee breaks the press, but it's a steal again. McSwain on her own, throws it up, it's no good. Davis right there for the rebound, can't get the putback. Whitney Smith has it, and she'll dribble back out front. Davis was in an awkward position, Nick. That was going to be a difficult shot anyway. McSwain back to the inside, try to get it to Coleman, it's taken away by Brown. Bounced off Coleman's hands. Brown very quick. And she is quick with the basketball. Pass midcourt across count is knocked away by Smith. Picked up by Coleman, given back to Whitney, and Union now goes up by 3. So turnovers and fast break points have really played in the Union Redhawks' favor tonight.
Which I don't think the Lady Ruffers are kind of showing a good way to break this. They're kind of just somehow surviving getting past half court, and then it's a turnover.
Pass down inside, a lot of contact there, but Coleman got away with it, and here she comes to Whitney Smith. Opportunity from 3, and it will not go. Rebound to Muskogee, and here comes Burton. Bella right there. Isabella McSwain stands right in the way. Oh, they're going to call the block. She just slid over a little bit late, So they're going to call the block on McSwain. And to the free throw line will go Malaysia Burton.
Which we always say that she's the intense one on the defensive side. She's also the one causing the most charges. She's always taking at least 1 or 2 a game, but that one, she kind of slid her feet at the last second, so that's why it's going to be a charge instead of a block.
Be a heck of a football player. She does not mind the contact, does she?
Which, for her height, obviously she's typically undersized compared to some of the girls she plays against, so she takes the contact for fun.
Her shot good, second shot good as well. Muskogee back within 1 at 10-9. Yeah, Bella at 5'4" is not the tallest, but you know what? I'd still put her at strong safety and see how it goes.
Jemiah Woodard did check in for Whitney Smith.
Coleman is also out of the game. Right side shot, once again, Whitney cannot get that one to go. That's right, actually Jemiah is in for Coleman. Whitney is in. Now Muskogee almost had themselves locked into the corner, but Thomas able to get it out of there. Now she picks her dribble up and she's trapped. Bella McSwain just pestering Burton. Burton will now drive, throws it up in the middle, and it's going to be a charge. Burton crashed head on into Esme Smith and Davis, and they're going to call that foul on Burton. That will be her second. And she was a little out of control. Nick, I think she was just frustrated by the pestering and decided, I'm going to the basket no matter what.
Take it all the way, yes. And kind of a commentator's curse to say that Bella McSwain's the one always taking the charge, and that one was going to be on Esme Smith. So Esme causing the charge.
Coach will take it no matter what. Micah Davis checks into the game. And having a seat is McSwain, also into the game now, is Jasmine Heron, pardon me. Heron, you can always tell with those 2-color shoes. Esme Smith back out front to Heron. 2 minutes to go in the quarter, 10-9 Union. And a nice bit of composure when down early, 7-2, Union with no panic at all. Muskogee extending that zone defense a bit, but they do collapse. If you watch when Esme Smith runs across the middle, they do collapse pretty quickly in there. It means you might have to hit that shot right there. Esme from 3. Can't quite get it to go. Woodard with the rebound. Back to Davis, and that's another one of those shots maybe she should have taken. Davis in the corner might have had an opportunity. Goes back to Woodard. Woodard goes up with it. No foul, but cannot hit it. Tipped around by Smith. She gets it back. Back inside to Heron, and it's 2 more. Now that was a fantastic feed from Jasmine Heron. 3-point game as Muskogee once again tries to break that press. Successful that time. 3-pointer from the right side. Goes off the side of the backboard. Is no good. Heron comes down there like a rocket. Whitney Smith. Right side to Davis. Back to Whitney. She'll have a chance at 3. Oh, that one wanted to go and couldn't. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it looked for a moment like it might have gone off Esme Smith. Muskogee had 2 players there, and I think Brewer might have gotten a hand on it, but also Nasasia Ivy might have touched it.
It's one of those situations where Esme doesn't have a pure opportunity of getting the rebound, but she causes some bit to now get the possession.
Esme Smith on the inbound was able to catch the basketball, crashed into a Muskogee player, the ball woefully short, but that was because of the contact. And, that was not a bad no call right there. Play on.
Letting him play for most of the night.
Inside cut, stolen. Esme Smith on the move, goes to Davis. Davis tried to get down low and get it to Whitney Smith, but the bounce pass was too low, went out of bounds. And it's another turnover by Union. And some of these quick extra passes, Nick, despite the fact you know what the intention is, there are times when you're at that point, probably best just to go up.
Just go up by yourself, be a little selfish, and go up and with the shot. I think that's what Coach Barry is looking for.
Demira Daniels is going to check in. Demaria Daniels, pardon me, will check in. And once again, Muskogee will work to try to get the ball up court. Brown's going to have to hurry. She does, though. Now over the corner, 3-pointer coming, right side. It's an air ball. Normore could not get that one to go, and here comes the Redhawks. Down inside to Esme Smith, but she's a little too low. They say she stepped on the line. It will be Muskogee basketball. The pace, and normally with this kind of pace, Nick, Union will pick up at least every other one of those buckets, and that's not quite happening here tonight, which is why we have a 3-point game.
Yeah, and it seems like for the last couple passes, looks like the referees are going to hold this. Those last couple passes that we're trying to find are just getting kind of closed off. But even when they're being closed off, we still lead 12-9 after the first.
So now if you take a look at what has happened, if you're Coach Barry, I think the message is probably, hey, just settle a little bit. Some of the breaks that we normally get are not going our way, but you're still up by 3. What is your message?
I think we're trying to find the perfect pass on every situation. If we're trying to find the perfect pass for every situation, I don't think we're going to find the opportunity to go for the shot. If we're able to just go up with the confidence of what we practice and what we run the plays, that's going to lead to at least a higher percentage of confidence so that we can just shoot the ball. But some of these passes are just, the windows are a little bit too small. The passes are just going to be a little bit difficult. And if you just go up with it, I think it's a little bit more easier in the long run.
Well, and they had gotten 3 fouls on Muskogee really fairly quickly. And it's obvious if you get inside, it is so much more difficult to make a play without fouling somebody. So that could be part of the message as well, as force the foul.
With Coach Barry in this first quarter, only leading by 3, I feel like we were still able to kind of dominate that quarter after those first 5 points, because Muskogee hit that 3 to go up 5-0, and it seemed like this was going to be a much different game. But after that, the defense has been causing much more turnovers. We just haven't been scoring as much. So that's still a win for the first quarter, and it looks like we're going to have just a little bit of a starting lineup change for the second quarter.
It'll be Daniels. It will also be Herron. Woodard is still out there. Micah Davis there. And Isabella McSwain. But McSwain, the only quote-unquote starter out there. But again, this team has gone this 10 deep pretty easily. Muskogee back in the zone. Ball knocked away from Woodard. Oh, she tried to get it inside quickly to Daniels and sailed it over her head. So another turnover on the Redhawks. And again, we don't have running stats, but I'm going to guess that's what, about 5 or 6, Nick?
Yeah. With Woodard's passing, she has kind of a power pass, which she can hum it really fast to the player that she's trying to look into, but it's kind of a low percentage pass that kind of can go out of control.
Thomas working to try to get it up court. Finally does against Woodard. Having to extend that arm to keep Jamira away. Now she's trapped in the corner. Able to hand it off, and Muskogee will try for the break. Gets inside, and they score. So a good handoff right there. Really wasn't much else that she could do. And Jaslyn Gandy knocks it down to make it a 1-point game. Daniels way out front. She'll set the offense. Muskogee in the 1-3-1. Set to check in. Coleman will come back in, and also we'll see Yane Edwards, who has been a spark for this basketball team.
Redhawks need to look for some spacing here. A lot of girls stacked up on each other.
Davis makes the move inside. Goes to Tara to Daniels, and Daniels is hacked. She got inside. They're going to call that one on Gandy. That's Jaslyn Gandy. That will be her first. So Demaria Daniels to the line. Union has shot 2 several times tonight. Daniels, just like everyone else, knocking down those free throws. When you can't say enough about that, you miss those free throws at this point in a game like this, Nick, and you're down by 3 or 4.
Yeah, so free throws definitely a big factor. Vanessa Coleman just checked in, and Yane Edwards checked in. That was for Micah Davis and Jemiah Woodard.
So Union retakes a 2-point lead at 3-point lead at 14-11, and Muskogee will bring it up. Brown working against Daniels, and Daniels is not making it any easier than McSwain did. And McSwain's the one out in there covering Ivy, and she'll have to get rid of that one or it'll be taken away. The Union man-to-man is just pestersome. Drive on the inside is no good. That was actually not a very good shot by Brown, and it was blocked. Right side to Coleman. She's got some room. Vanessa drives, puts up the right-hander. Can't get it to go. Rebound Ruffers. Brewer out there with it, and here comes Muskogee.
It's a really good look from Coleman, just going a little bit too fast.
Thomas with Edwards on her, finding out she can't beat that one either. Brown now moves to the middle. Brown tries to go straight up with it. Rebound in there by Edwards. Daniels hurrying down court. Left side 3, and that one's going to go down. Jasmine Herron for 3, and it's 17-11. And we're going to call a foul here as Muskogee trying to get it up court quickly. Brown was bodied there by Demaria Daniels, and they're going to get her for her first foul. Whitney Smith will come back in. McSwain will have a seat. Daniels and Heron both have a seat. Also coming into the game, a player who's not even on our roster. Ball bounced out of bounds, and it will be Union basketball as Anaya Thomas could not keep that ball in bounds. Tyrone Taylor checked into the game, and there is a number 20 on the court who we do not have on our roster, but we will make sure we find out who that is. And yes, we do usually check before a game on the rosters, and sometimes this just happens. Way out front, Taylor has it taken away. Ruffers on the break. Brown, deep down court, makes the extra pass, but it fumbles around. Now way back out front is Muskogee. Try to get it inside, and it's stolen away. Down court come the Red Hawks, and there's a foul inside on Muskogee. And number 20 right there is the player we do not have on the roster, but we will find that out.
Really good Euro step there when she was going down the lane, used her 2 steps and was able to at least use the contact on that. When they were going down the court, it was going really, really fast.
And by the way, we understand that is Chloe Woodson, number 20. Thank you very much for that. Chloe hits the first, and as a matter of fact, if you watched her bring that ball down the court, Nick, it was not her first time.
Seemed like it was a starter with the confidence going down and going up for the layup. So Woodson, good from the free throw line.
So Woodson with 2, and Union leads 19-11. Brown drives inside, kicks it back out. Well, everything is contested tonight for Muskogee. Ruffers drive. That is a really nice play by Coleman. That drive a little bit out of control right there, and so all she did was just keep her body in front of Ivy and then throw the arm straight up. Ivy bumped her out of bounds, so it will remain with the Ruffers, but that is good defense.
You can see kind of the overemphasis message from Coach Barry. Every single time Muskogee drives, the girls' hands are straight up, and they're not causing any contact. They're just making sure that they play clean, good defense.
Coleman a little overcommit right there, but got away with it. Ruffers on the drive up, and it is no good, but there's a foul in there. That was not a bad move in there by Brewer. And she was fouled underneath. That foul is going to go against John A. Edwards. That'll be her first. And the Ruffers will go to the line, trailing 19-11. First shot, shooter's roll. So Brewer gets another point. It's her first of the night. And the second is true. That is 2 for Brewer. And it becomes 19-13. 4:26 to go, first half. Not the sharpest for either team, but as always, entertaining. Woodson way out front. Well, Whitney Smith actually had a moment there and thought about it, didn't she, Nick? Move inside by Woodson. Puts it up off the board. Doesn't go, but a nice move. Brown out of there quickly for the Ruffers. She'll back it up, though, as Woodson is on her. Brown, nice little inside move. Tries to put it up. Edwards with the block. Here comes Yane. She's got some help down there now. Puts up a little right-hander. It won't go. Whitney Smith with the rebound. Works it right back around. Won't go. Underneath. Esme Smith with the rebound. The putback and the foul. Esme Smith put that in. Jaslyn Gandy with her second foul, and Esme will have a chance for the and one.
Those are one of the plays where we see how Esme Smith is able to extend the play. Whitney Smith and Esme Smith were kind of in the same little block there, kind of fighting for the same rebound. Whitney wasn't able to put it down. Esme able to put it down with the foul and the three-point play.
And knocks down that free throw like it's no big deal. There will be a timeout for Coach Barry as he'd made some other substitutions. Good to see Woodson play like that. You just have it's yet another option. And do remember, there are times of the year when players, for one reason or another, will get either eligible or be in the district or whatever it is, maybe come off injury or those kinds of things, and find their way back onto the rosters. And if you're going to do that well before state playoff time, tournament time is important. You really need that work together, Nick.
And it gives them time to kind of work as a team. And I felt like just for the 3 minutes that we've been able to see Chloe, she's been able to go very fast. Once they get the rebound, it's an outlet and we're moving. And that's something that Coach Barry definitely would love to see, because when we're playing up against a Muskogee team where we're trying to set the tempo so fast and got to go quick on the fast tempo break, that's going to be something that her intensity is what Coach Barry will like to see later on.
Union with a press as the ball comes in. McSwain on Brown, and she'll get called for the foul for bodying her in the backcourt. That will be the second foul on McSwain. She runs directly over to Coach Barry. They start a conversation, and she's going to have a seat, and Herron will check in. Can't afford to have McSwain in foul trouble. Woodson now guarding Brown. Brown fell down, and here comes Woodson. Chloe, a little right-handed layup is good. Brown a little frustrated right there, but Woodson was just doing a good job of staying with her. Now it's stolen away by Woodson. Or pardon me, by Smith. Back inside, Herron lays it up with the left hand, and it's good. Quickly, the Redhawks build that lead.
These Lady Ruffers are so athletic, but Union just showing that trap, unable to do anything. Another turnover.
Daniels inside, Herron never put it on the ground and put it in.
Another timeout for Coach
Brilliant play right there. Herron never bounced the basketball. Didn't have to take the dribble and didn't. Little two-hander up and in, and it's a 15-point game just like that.
Now that's one of those situations where all night you've seen Muskogee unable to succeed. They've just been surviving to break that press. And whenever they break the press, they're still turning it over, even when they're trying to set up their half-court offense. But when we are able to get the traps going, the Lady Ruffers unable to do anything, and you can see that with back-to-back turnovers right there.
And one of the interesting things, one of the things apparently for Muskogee is Demaya Brown seems to be the only one they really trust to bring the ball up court. Anaya Thomas has done it a time or two, but not terribly successfully. So it looks as though Brown is really the kind of option. Now, the officials, and on both sides of this, by the way, who are Tyus, Heinrich Schweiger, Bo Ragsdale, and Colby Farrar, are letting them play a little bit, but on both ends of the court, and you can see that's starting to frustrate Brown.
Yeah, and that's where when you only have one point guard coming down the court, it's a little bit easier to defend. When you don't have different outlets, if we were only looking through McSwain to take it down the court or other things like that, it would be really difficult for us as Union, but we were able to show through all the types of girls that we have that they can bring it down the court.
Burton has it now from Muskogee, and she'll try to bring it down. Pestered by Woodson, but she'll get it across midcourt. Now drives, has someone open down low, but it bounces off the leg of Jordan Campbell, and it's another turnover. And we mentioned Union's turnovers, which are easily in the 5-6 range. That might be nearing 10 for Muskogee, Nick.
And the points that we're going to be getting off these turnovers is where that difference maker of a 15-point lead is right now.
Quick drive inside, and Whitney Smith pops it down. Whitney Smith, and that's exactly what you need. A couple of shots like that for confidence for Whitney, and look out. Burton able to get it across midcourt. As soon as she picks that dribble up, though, it's going to be a trap. Davis, and it is taken away. Davis and Woodson had her trapped. And they're going to call a foul there on Muskogee. I think a little frustration foul in there on Brewer. Well, maybe they didn't. I thought they called a foul right there, Nick. I saw him make a motion, but I don't see who they might have called that on.
Possibly was on Burton, who got substituted out. Yeah,
possibly Burton. That would be her third foul, if so. So Union back down court. Herron wanted to get a quick move, could not. Daniels in there with her. Way out front, now to Whitney Smith again. Myra Woodward is back in there as well. Not a lot of movement in that middle part of the court that you really have to try to break this zone. Whitney Smith with a little bit of an opportunity, won't take it. Now inside to Davis, it's a little too far, and but Jasmine Herron almost able to save that as it bounced off Davis's hands, but she couldn't. She tiptoed the sidelines like a receiver, fell out of bounds, and it's Muskogee's ball.
Just one of those passes that Woodard's trying to go a little bit over the top. Seemed like we're just working the perimeter there, and she wanted to find the really, really small hole to pass it to.
Quick trap again on Brown, but she's able to get across at midcourt. Now way out by the front court is Thomas. Woodard is pestering her. Thomas now picks up her dribble. Brown able to get it left side. Attempt is going to be short. Davis on the rebound, but it's taken away. Bounces back out to Brewer. Brewer will put up a little right hand. It's not going to go, and Whitney Smith with a rebound. Bit of a disjointed possession for Muskogee. Woodard fires it back out front. Now to Whitney Smith, who, for a second there, had that three. Under a minute to go in the half. Union up 30-13, and I think Coach Berry wants them to be patient. A little bit of a clog in the middle that time as Daniels came through.
As Coach Berry looks on this, wants to make sure that kind of work the perimeter, work the clock, maybe try to work for the last second shot.
Coach Berry seems to be fond of that 7-6-second range to really start to push it. Heron will back it out front with Daniels. Whitney Smith's going to take the three. That one will bounce off, and there's no one else underneath. Rebound to Campbell, and the Ruffers will have one more shot. Brown thought about pushing it and then didn't. Brown now will drive, and she's going to put up the left-handed shot. Will not go. Daniels with the rebound. There's enough time left to take one shot. Daniels down court. He cannot quite get it to go in the rebound to Muskogee, and we will remain at 30-13. So after a fairly slow start, the Lady Redhawks kept their composure, went back to their game, turned Muskogee over consistently, got layups, and they now lead 30-17, Nick. And I think that you have to consider that successful, considering that was not the best of starts.
Yeah, for the amount of turnovers that you were able to have, it doesn't match the amount of points that you could have off those fast break turnovers. So for this second half, we want to make sure that we're keeping the intensity up on the defensive side, but maybe those shots are going to be able to fall so that we can extend this lead so we can get a little bit more of those bench players into this game.
And just remember, unlike Merritt's and McDonald's, turnovers in this game aren't good.
Not good.
Right now, though, Union has the lead, 30-13. We'll step away for a bit of the half. Be back with you in a few minutes. Remember, still to come, boys basketball as well here on the Union Sports Network.
Dad, don't forget about my new cleats.
Sweetie, I can't make it to Dick's this week.
Have you heard of Dix.com?
Have I heard of Dix.com? Have I heard of Dix.com? Whoa.
Don't overthink it. Let's go shopping.
Actually, what I need are some cleats.
How about one of these?
Great.
Done. Anything else?
No, golf club? Not for me.
Yeah,
To a friend.
of course.
Anyone impressed with how fast that was?
Yeah,
I know. I went to
My
Dix.com.
cleats. Thank you. I love you.
Wow, I went to Dix.com. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, I told you about that.
Does your school or organization need athletic apparel or spirit wear? Let me suggest Inkwell, a Tulsa-based company that can get you the quality you deserve at unheard of and unmatched lead times. Talking 2 weeks or less, not 2 months like most others, and can do it as much as 60% less than most of the big guys out there. So join the likes of Sand Springs, Union, Broken Arrow, Jinx, Oolaga, and Glenpool to name a few, and get your customized sublimated uniforms, including Under Armour, Nike, or Adidas at inkwellnation.com.
Life doesn't wait for you to slow down. When you're moving fast and something doesn't feel right, Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma is here to help you stay in motion. Through our combined expertise in orthopedic surgery, non-surgical medicine, and comprehensive whole patient treatment, our team has your back and every other joint too. Ready to get back out there? Visit AOOK.com and let's move forward together. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
Select Commercial Group, a part of Coldwell Banker Select, is a highly reputable and professional firm specializing in commercial real estate services. David Roberts heads up the group with over 40 years of management experience and over 20 years in the real estate market. Sarah Bergeson, Scott Job, Jason Smith, Amy Bauman are skilled professionals that are poised to help you achieve your goals. Select Commercial Group treats their clients like family. With a wealth of experience and expertise in the industry, they are dedicated to providing exceptional services to clients seeking commercial real estate solutions. Whether you are looking to buy, sell, lease, or invest in commercial properties, their expertise covers various sectors, including office spaces, retail properties, industrial facilities, and more. Select Commercial Group is the go-to partner for all your commercial real estate needs. Call 918-695-6979 or 918-394-0700. A sponsor of the Union Red Hawks.
When summer heats up and your AC isn't working right, be cautious of being pressured into a replacement.
It's always a good idea to get a second opinion, and Airco will let you know if your AC is worth fixing.
So call Airco today for a free second opinion.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
Shields is now open at the Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa, and we can't thank you enough for the warm welcome. Whether you love the great outdoors, sports, or fashion, Shields has something for everyone. Our passionate and knowledgeable Shields experts are excited to welcome you to explore thousands of brands and premium products. From our golf simulator, service shop, archery lanes, and more, we're ready to get you fitted with the best gear for you. We can't wait to see you at Shields.
Hey Union fans, score big with TTCU Federal Credit Union School Pride Card. Each time you use your card, we donate to Union Public Schools, adding to the $2.5 million we've given statewide. TTCU, where members are raving fans.
Life doesn't wait for you to slow down. When you're moving fast and something doesn't feel right, Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma is here to help you stay in motion. Through our combined expertise in orthopedic surgery, non-surgical medicine, and comprehensive whole patient treatment, our team has your back and every other joint too. Ready to get back out there? Visit AOOK.com and let's move forward together. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
Texting or talking on the phone without a hands-free device while driving is always a bad idea. If you're behind the wheel, try reducing phone usage or consider turning it off. Keep your focus on the road, not your phone. Thanks to Farmers Insurance Agent Lacey Invenport for bringing these important safety messages to our school.
Welcome back inside the UMAC. After a short break, we're back here on the Union Sports Network. Rick Corey along with Nick Irwin, who, by the way, is going to be at a wedding on Friday and will not be here for the big speed
for the biggest game for our
all games. I hope, for whatever it is, drink the champagne, eat the cake, brother.
I will have my phone, and I'll be tuning in to watch because I want to see our girls play against Bixby. But for tonight, our girls are playing against Muskogee, and that's where we're going to be looking at tonight. After that first half performance, seemed like we were really clean on the defense. dirty on the offensive side, though.
A lot of turnovers for Union, but on the other side of things, they have turned Muskogee over a good deal of time tonight as well, which is the reason they lead 30-13. And not any one particular person to point out. Defensively, everyone's been good. McSwain's been great out front, but the hands on the inside, Davis, Coleman, many steals on the inside. Some of those being forced by those players out front, though.
And once we get those steals, it's a quick outlet pass, and that outlet pass is typically a 1-2 that leads to a layup. But kind of a debut night tonight for Chloe Woodson, and she has fit kind of like a puzzle piece perfectly right to what Coach Barry always talks about of moving fast, staying intense on the defensive side, and her defense being able to move laterally, causing those turnovers. As we said, she's pickpocketed a couple of those balls in the backcourt, and then she has a nice easy layup. So for Chloe Woodson, getting some time tonight for the varsity side, definitely proving her point.
One of the things that's very difficult for someone first time in a game mixture is sometimes to have that confidence. We haven't seen that with her. She came in immediately, first time she touched the basketball, took it 3/4 length of the court before she passed off. She looks like she's been playing this game with this team the entire time.
Yeah, well, specifically this team, right?
Yes.
We've been seeing at Union Jinx Invitational, that's something that we try to work together. Are we a little bit shy? Are we don't not want to pass it too much? But for tonight, it seems like she fit in perfectly. But as we move into the second half with a 17-point lead, which I would like to note that we're about 50 seconds until the buzzer is going to go off so it can start, and Muskogee is nowhere to be found. So Muskogee hasn't gotten any shots up or hasn't gotten anything up. Our girls, Union girls, are already out there ready to play, and they're just now, Muskogee coming out of the locker room on the right side of your screen.
With 30 seconds to play here, or 30 seconds to go before the half. And they're walking directly on the court here, so there won't, apparently all that speech was in the locker room at the half as the Ruffers come out.
It's a very interesting way of coming out for the second half.
It is. I actually saw a football team once, and this was a long time ago, in the sleet and snow over at LaFortune Park, stay on their bus until kickoff, come out, go right to line up for the for the actual kickoff, and then proceed to lose by 50, which is probably why they stayed on the bus. If you're going to get beat, at least be warm, right?
Yeah, I think there's a connection in that, because if you're not going to warm up or anything of that nature, it seems like it's going to be pretty bad. So, Coach Bunch,
not saying that's what Muskogee did. I think maybe there was just a message to be delivered by Coach Brian Bunch. And his team, again, at 4-5 in league play, certainly not bad, middle of the road. But as you saw early, they have ability, and they can shoot the basketball. Muskogee will take it to start this third period, trailing by 17. Rick Corey and Nick Irwin, along with Andy Irwin and the UVU crew here. Union Sports Network crew, I should say. Brown, once again, will bring it up. Now let's see what Coach has decided to do in this second half. Brown is trapped underneath, but dribbles it back out front, where Campbell picks it up.
So Coach Barry enjoys the zone. That's what the girls are in right now for Union.
They're in the 1-3-1. You'll see Esme Smith here dropping down to trap now. Well, I don't know how, but somehow there wasn't a foul call, but there is a turnover. And here comes Whitney Smith. Whitney to the bucket. Right-hander won't go, and then she taps it, tries to tap it to herself, and almost tapped it out of bounds. Is taken by Brewer and Muskogee with the basketball.
I didn't know if that was a pass to themselves because it didn't really hit anything, but I think it went off the backboard.
Back out front, Ivy with the basketball. Now they'll go inside. Nice little move by Muskogee. It's up and in. Jordan Campbell was able to get position there on Esme Smith, and she makes it a 30-15 game.
That's a really good turn. Just Coleman has to keep fighting for position, get on the other side rather than giving up that space at the low block.
Muskogee looks to have gone into a 2-3 now, away from that 1-3-1. Esme Smith from this corner on three, and she knocks it down. From the wing.
Clean
set shot from the wing. Yes, right off that. And again, those right-handers love that. One step to the left, knock it down. Davis knocks it away. Here she comes. Left-handed layup, just zipping in. Jada Davis with the takeaway and the two. 36-15 Redhawks. Quickly, down court. Well, it looked like Muskogee had an opportunity, but Brewer decided against going to the hole.
I think Davis was supposed to sit at a full court and kind of forgot after she scored the bucket.
Muskogee way out front. Ivy will drive and then take the shot. Banks it off and in. Masia Ivy with her 2.
Ivy found space because Whitney Smith kind of turned off for a moment. Little 12-footer from the elbow.
And it looks like what they're trying to do in that 2-3 is just take away some of those cuts that Union had down low. Whitney Smith way across court to Esme Smith, down low to Davis. Tried to get it inside to Coleman, but it was picked off, and that's a good job by Campbell to just step in front. Brown will bring it up and settle down. 35-17 here in this third period. Once again, lack of movement there by Muskogee. Ivy didn't have anywhere to go. Davis takes it away. Here she comes. This time her right-hander is up and in. That's 4 for Jada Davis in the last minute.
It's a really good makeup because she caused the turnover in the previous possession, able to cause the turnover and get the bucket.
Campbell gives it up quickly. Now trapped in the corner, but now nice little inside cut. Ball's up, no good though. Campbell missed, and Davis with the rebound. Here comes McSwain. Coleman on her left side. Vanessa stops, shoots. Oh, it won't quite go. Rebound knocked around, and Esme Smith brings it down. They'll move the ball back out front. For a moment, Whitney Smith looked like she had an opportunity. Esme for another 3. No, sir. Rebound inside by Davis. She tosses it up. No foul and no bucket. Here comes Muskogee.
Esme got the rebound, got us another shot and another possession. Always something that you can do as a center. Well done from Esme.
Union back into their man-to-man. Didn't stay in that zone for long, just enough to maybe make Muskogee think. Ivy goes across court. Brewer lays it up. Cannot get it to go in. Esme Smith with the rebound, and a fresh 5 will be checking in for Union shortly. Coleman made the move inside. Now to Davis. Davis down low to Esme Smith, and she can't get it but got her own rebound. Again, no good. Esme a third time, but she'll get it off to Whitney Smith. She can't get it. Esme again inside, and she's hacked. That is 4 shots inside for Esme. Could not quite get him to go. Brewer will get called with a foul. That will be her first.
1 possession, 4 rebounds for Esme Smith right there. I know we're talking about just working on our finishing, but it was a really good pass to lead into Esme at the originals. It was a high pass to keep it high, and those always work for a center.
Esme Smith knocks down her 11th point, and now the wholesale changes will come, except Esme will stay out there as the shooter. Micah Davis will check in. Heron, Daniels, and once again, Yanne Edwards. And in a moment, if this one goes through, and it does, Esme Smith will be replaced, and Woodard will come out. 12 points now for Esme Smith. She has been, once again, tremendous, as always. Press broken, but dribbling directly into the corner was Thomas. Had no really chance to do anything other than just bounce it off Daniels, which she did. 39-17 Union with 3:40 to go in this third period. Normore passed that one off fairly quickly. Brown with Heron on her. And again, Muskogee, opportunity for Brown in the corner, and they won't get it to her. Right now, Edwards is on Brown. Now they'll be back to Brown. Now deep in the corner. Brown drives and traveled, but somehow that didn't get called. Yep, it finally did. She took about 4 steps, and there was no whistle, Nick. And then when the whistle came, I was afraid it was a foul. Finally, the travel's called. Heron raced up court just to, I think, scare the Ruffers and then slowed it down.
It's so rewarding for a coach to be able to kind of have, as you said, that wholesale. We're able to get 5 new players into the game, especially being up 22 right now. Get that rust off our girls with Edwards for 3.
Yeah, she made it look easy. Yanne Edwards from way outside. And between the wing and the corner right there, and Union goes up 42-17. Brown had a shot right there with Edwards on her to try to cut underneath and didn't take it. Now here she goes. Brown, left-handed layup, bounces out, rebound Woodard, and that's a good rebound. Quickly down court, Jamira. Straight to the basket. Left-hander won't go. Rebound to the Ruffers. Out of there with it is Thomas. Brown, left side, can't get her 3 to go. It is knocked out of there by Edwards, and she's out of bounds as she touched it. I believe they're going to say that Edwards touched it with her foot on the ground, and they'll give it to the Lady Ruffers. Saw Coach Garcia out. Rudy Garcia came out just to kind of peek and see how much time was left. He normally sits across from us for the entire JV game, of course, you can understand why, and at least a quarter of the girls' game, and then he comes back out to peek every now and then. Boys will be following this one some 20 minutes after it's over. Move to the inside, quick throw up by Normore, no good. Heron with the rebound. She's going to go way down court to Davis. Davis puts it up, but she is fouled. Foul's going to go against Thomas. It will be her second. And to the line will go Micah Davis.
That was a really impressive pass to be that accurate and that far to at least catch Davis in stride. Davis didn't have to turn or anything. It just caught her in stride, and she was able to go straight up with it, causing the foul and obviously making the first one.
Davis knocks the first one down like it's no big deal wearing those Carolina Blues shoes. As a Duke fan, that's hard for me to say. We'll just leave it at that. She hits the second one as well, and they have been terrific from the free throw line tonight, have the Lady Redhawks. Way out front, the Ruffers find themselves again in trouble. You know, if you look at the scoring here, Nick, very quietly, Jasmine Heron has 9. And I say quietly, if I were to ask you to name all 9 points, it would be difficult to do. Inside, the Ruffers get one up. It will not go. Edwards with the rebound. And if you think for a second she can't bring it down court, she can. And here comes Heron. Heron goes to Davis. Davis, inside cut. Oh, she tried to pass it back to Daniels. Can't get it there. Or pardon me, back to Edwards. Yana had position there. Couldn't get it to her. They'll go back to Heron out front. Heron's a valuable part of this basketball team. Davis, right side for 3. Can't get it to go. Edwards with a rebound. Edwards forces it back up. Won't go. Looked like maybe she had contact, but they do not call a foul, and Smith with a rebound. Edwards able to steal it away. Yana to Davis. Davis does not have numbers. She had Woodard for a second and did not take the pass. Under 30 seconds to play, third period. Davis wide open underneath. Tremendous feed inside by Heron, and Davis gets 2 more.
David, looks like Lady Ruffers turned off for just a moment. Davis was at the low block. Easy layup.
Inside for Muskogee. Smith puts that ball up. They're going to call Heron for the foul. That will be her first.
After the second free throw, only got 11 seconds. Gonna have to go pretty quick.
Kalacia Smith knocks the first one down. They list her at 5'3". Just watching her on the court, she looks shorter, but boy, she is quick. Coming back into the game, Esme Smith. Also Jada Davis, Whitney Smith, and Chloe Woodson. So we'll see Woodson out there with really what is 4 starters. Only difference is right now Coleman remains on the bench. Second shot for Smith. Rolls in, got a bit of a shooter's touch, and it is 46-19 Redhawks. 11 seconds to go. Time for one more shot at least. McSwain pushes the pace. Bella tosses it up almost over her head and is fouled. Tremendous job by Bella McSwain. The foul in there is going to go against Gandy. That's going to be her third.
I think Bella McSwain with a little smirk on her face looking over at Coach Barry, saying, maybe I got a little lucky on that because I was out of control.
Well, I think, yeah, she definitely thought that. She also thought, hey, why not give it a shot? 5 seconds to go in this third period. Second shot up. Will not go. The Ruffers will probably not get another shot as the ball is falling around, and that's going to be the end of the third period. 47-19 at the end of the third, and the Redhawks did nothing more than just pull away right there, Nick. But we got to see a lot of different players. We got to see a lot of what we consider or what we call that second 5. And honestly, I know there's a starting 5 here, and there's reason they go out there first. But you're not seeing, at least in the last week and a half to 2 weeks, a lot of drop-off when that next 5 comes in.
Yeah, the ability and kind of the freedom that Coach Barry has that even if we're in foul trouble, if we have the yips, if we're just not feeling confident that night, we can be able to look to our bench and find the girls that can pick up and probably either excel or match the same energy. So it's just a really, really nice stat to be able to look to the bench and see that, okay, we have Daniels, we have Heron, now we also have Woodson on the defensive side that we can look to, or Woodard. Those are all names that you're seeing, not in that starting 5, but still those players that are going to get just as much time, as the starters would.
I'm really interested to see how this one goes. Now, we have seen Vanessa Coleman unquestionably is a huge part of this basketball team. Early in the season especially, and actually early in January, February, she's still nursing that knee, and she was coming out. After a couple of minutes, a lot of times that was going to be Woodard coming in. So now you've got Coleman, Woodard, and Woodson. And I'm really interested to see here as we start with what would be, quote-unquote, the starting 4, and then Woodson out there in the place of Vanessa Coleman, how this goes. 47-19 beginning the fourth period. Rick Corey and Nick Irwin with you here at the UMAC. Boys basketball up next. McSwain breaks the press, throws up the right-hander, no good, or breaks the defense, pardon me. Ruffers with the rebound. Thomas with another board, and here comes Muskogee. That's Burton way out front. Brown, who has traditionally been the out front person, is on the bench. Woodson with a steal. Down to Esme Smith. She's open and lays it up and in. That's 14 now for Esme Smith tonight as the Redhawks extend their lead. And the number of steals tonight, Nick, again, it's got to be 10, 12. It's just off the charts for the Redhawks.
And more in the second half, we've been seeing a lot more points off those turnovers.
Woodson will get the call right there. As soon as Normore got the basketball, Woodson was right in her face. But they will call Woodson for that foul. Muskogee will have it out of bounds. Smith to inbounds, does quickly to Burton. Davis, who tonight on the smaller, both Davises actually on smaller players have done very well. Quick drive on the inside, Muskogee has it. I think that ball actually just came off Jaslyn Gandy, but they were going to say it bounced off a Red Hawk. I think Whitney Smith's the one they said, but Nick, that looked like she just dropped the basketball.
It was kind of a Euro step situation, but it still bounced off Red Hawk, the referees say.
Kind of a Euro drop. Three-pointer from the right side won't go. Davis with a rebound. Way down court's McSwain. Gets it there. Bella tries to get it up, and she's fouled and crashes into the backboard. Foul, I believe, is going to go on Gandy, and that will be her fourth.
Smile on McSwain's face. It's always good because it seemed like she went down pretty hard, but she's able to take the contact, and now going to have to earn it at the line.
This was the first. I'm always surprised at the end of a game how Bella McSwain can hit free throws, but she's got her legs have got to be tired. That is, she is the Energizer Bunny of guards. There is no doubt.
As you can see, we have Jarman and we have Cedar Ridge.
Yep.
Students here tonight. We had some performances from the Cedar Ridge Choir, and then we have the Elementary Night, so a little loaded UMAC tonight.
Very familiar with those hallways in German. Spent a lot of time at book fairs over there.
Yep.
Burton way out front. Now passes it off, and the Red Hawks defense once again pushes Muskogee way out front. Burton is trying Woodson, but it's not getting her anywhere. They'll go back out front, and Woodson will again approach. Woodson's got a tremendous stance. Did not get through that screen. They switched it. Burton's kind of stuck. She's going to have to throw up the little left-hander, and it won't go. And here comes McSwain. Quickly down court. A little behind the back right there by Woodson. Had the ball taken away, and now it's taken away again. McSwain, 2-on-1. Oh, just over the head of Coleman. McSwain tried to one-hand it, and it was within, what, maybe 2 inches, Nick, of being a brilliant pass, but it sailed a little high.
Yeah, sometimes when you're looking for the pass from McSwain, that pass was a little bit too hot off her hand, which I think comes from using the one-hand pass rather than the two-hand pass. And the control of that decreases as that happens, so a little bit too high for Vanessa Coleman.
Inside move, Muskogee right back outside, and they throw it almost into the referee's head. Gandy had an opportunity there and decided instead to pass it out front and whizzed it right by her player and right by the official, and it's a turnover. About as close as you will come to seeing an official get whacked in the noggin. 5:33 to go in this game, 50-19 Redhawks. And remember, they trailed 7-2 early to start. Heron back in the game. The long hair and those two different colored shoes. Can always tell. That is Tyrone Taylor out front. And that is Woodard. Nice little drive on the inside by Coleman, and she puts up the right-hander and in. Vanessa Coleman, not a huge scoring night tonight for Coleman. That's only 4, but a good play right there to give Union a bigger lead.
The speed that she's able to go and dribble with the ball and then go quickly up on that right hand is one of the top ones on our team.
Especially for a young lady who is 5'11". Ball knocked around and Coleman picks it up, and here comes Heron. Down court, little right-hander, running right-hander. It is not good for Woodson. Rebound and the the putback goes back up, and it is good. And the Redhawks once again extend. And that is Jamira Woodard. Her first points of the night. Burton just trying to toy there with, I think, Heron, but I think it's Heron who's going to really get the better of that one. Muskogee has spent most of the night, Nick, way away from the basket other than occasional back cuts.
Seems like we stopped the full court press too, so they're actually able to set up the half court.
Little running right-hander is going to bounce out of there. Gandy couldn't get it to go down. Coleman, left side down. Tyrone Taylor, she'll take the break. Can't quite get it to go, and it's another putback. Jasmine Woodard never touched the ground, just put it right back, and that's her 4th point of the night. Three-pointer will not go. Woodson with the rebound. Tried to spin away, and it was knocked away by Muskogee, but the ball goes out of bounds. That should be Union's basketball, and it is. Woodson on the spin. Got to give credit right there because Gandy did not take the spin. Instead, went inside and tapped the basketball, but knocked it out of bounds.
And Edwards checked in for Vanessa Coleman.
So Heron and Daniels. You have Edwards, Woodard, and Tyrone Taylor. 3:29 to go in the game. Woodard with the drive. Goes inside. Edwards puts it up. Cannot quite get it to fall, but get the foul. Had that gone, she had the and one. Instead, she did get the call at least, and she'll go to the line. So the foul will go on Burton. That will be her 4th. Edwards with 3 points tonight. Cannot get the 4th there. We'll have one more opportunity. And I'm wondering if there was an injury to Demira Brown, because Demira Brown spent the entire first half handling the basketball for Muskogee. We've not seen her much in this second half, Nick. Second shot up and in, so that is 4 points on the night now for Edwards.
Could that have been something that happened during halftime that we could have seen that a little bit earlier, but I don't know.
Well, Brown's on the bench. We see her down there. The little spin by Burton, and that ball thrown out of bounds. Wild shot will go to Union. And Brown is on the bench. Does not, she's dressed as though she could go into the game, not wearing a warm-up, but has not been in much. More substitutes coming in for the Redhawks. We will see here in just a moment. Edwards underneath, almost dropped the basketball. Now she's going to go up with a little right-hander. Oh, can't quite get it to go. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Where Taylor, it looked like she had a shot at it, and it went over her head and was knocked out. Looked like maybe she put a hand on it. It will be instead turned to Muskogee. Coming to the game, Glennis Egby, and another young lady who's not on our roster.
I believe we saw her last week as well, but just forgot her name.
So Muskogee will bring it back up with 2:43 to go. 57-19 Redhawks. To the basket, nice little left-hander up there by Smith, but she can't get it to go down. Rebound Union. Pass out to Egby is a little too high, but Tyrone Taylor saved it. Taylor going right to the basket, tried to get it inside to Edwards and just threw it over her head. And that's probably 6 or 7 of those too, Nick, that we've talked about where It's control of the pass more than anything else. Not that the pass is a bad idea, but the control, either being a one-hand or two-hand pass that's a little out of control, just hasn't paid off.
And most of those passes that are down low don't need to be 100 miles an hour. Like, you just are trying to lead your low block player to at least get them to an easier shot.
Gandy with the drive, middle of the lane. It will not be good, but she almost grabbed her own rebound. Tyrone Taylor has it. It's taken away from her. Egby had an opportunity for it. It's still on the ground. Toss to the Red Hawks. 3 from the left side is knocked down.
Just like they drew it up.
That is 3 for Union, and they extend the lead now to 60-19. Alina Clark is the one who just knocked down that 3. And you saw the bench go absolutely crazy as soon as she did, Nick.
Well, it seemed like that ball from the center half court rolled all the way to the Union goal side, and they were able to at least get it. And Clark from 3.
Minute 37 to go in the game. Davis will bring it gingerly across half court. No rush for the Red Hawks, but she's got a bit of a lane. Tried to go to it, and she is fouled. Aspen Thomas put the kind of a hip on her, and Davis is staying down for a moment. That is Micah Davis. Immediately out there, trainers and coaches to check on it. Let me tell you, that basketball court is hard when you are not wearing pads and you go crashing to the floor. Coach Joe Davis going out to check as well. Now Coach Barry coming out.
Which it seemed like when she got tripped up, it possibly would have been a head that, hit the ground after, which is very scary.
Yeah, she's holding the back of her head but shaking her head. I think I'm sure they will take her to the side and do a bit of an evaluation.
She had a smile on her face when she stood up. Coach Barry was able to say something, make her feel a little bit better.
I think they're going to take her directly off the court to the locker room with 1:28 to go. No reason not to. The athletic training has come so incredibly far in the last, in the 20 years, there's no question. But in 5-10 years, ridiculously far. Three-pointer attempted, and it's good. Yane Edwards with her second 3. Knocked that one off the backboard like she meant to.
I love the bench reaction when they're able to see these players who usually don't get as many times as Woodson gets this turnover.
Woodson down court, stops, little right-hander, gets the roll. It is the supporting cast, if you will, that are stars tonight here for the Red Hawks.
Very well put.
Foul in there by Woodson. She got a little overexcited as she tried to get very close and grab Jaslyn Gandy. Unfortunately, she got her with a body, and that will be a foul. Checking into the game, India Highshaw and Amaya Richardson. Quickly with the basketball, Muskogee. Smith gets it left side. Three-pointer is up and good. That one went quickly, and that is Diana Roberts who knocked down that 3. And it's 65-21. Quickly, little left hand. Not going to happen for Clark on that one. Maybe a little bit faster than she should have, Nick, and I'm sure the bench is yelling shoot as she went by. So she obliged. Clark has 3 already. Inbounds. Out front. Shot no good right there by Egby. And it's knocked around and out of bounds, and it will be Muskogee basketball. Union boys in the corner waiting to come out tonight, taking on the Muskogee team. Remember on Friday right here, as Nick said, Bixby. Boy, some big games here on Friday at the UMAC.
We're waiting for that all season, being able to go number 1, number 2 for girls district.
Jaslyn Gandy with a driving right-hand shot from probably 13 feet away that was just wild. Went over the back of the backboard and out of bounds, and once again it'll be Union basketball and 21 seconds to go. My guess is they're going to try to dribble this one out. Woodson has it across court, and she will stand there until she's made to move. She does behind the back, almost lost it. Now they'll just toss it around until the clock runs out, and we're going to go to zeros. 65-24 will be the final. And if you look at the stars, as usual, you're going to see people like Esme Smith with 14, but Yanni Edwards with 7, Jada Davis with 6, Jasmine Herron with 9. We saw those second 5, if you will, Nick, and others really contribute tonight after a slow start for the Redhawks. So give them credit when things weren't great offensively. Their defense keyed, as you talked about before the game, enough offense to go win.
It was that fatigue early from the defensive side from Muskogee. It seemed like they slowly turned off. We kept the intensity, kept the foot on the gas, and that's all she wrote.
And that is. So the Union Redhawks win again, 65-24, sets up a Friday game, a big one against Bixby. We'll be here for that. But we're going to step away for a moment and then be back for the Union boys against